Hi, my name is Juliana Barrett, and I'm going to be talking about the UConn Climate Corps. There are many issues facing Connecticut's 169 towns with regard to climate change. Through a series of interviews and meetings, my colleague Bruce Hyde and I put together a list of priority climate adaptation issues in Connecticut municipalities. Flooding is the top issue and includes both coastal flooding due to storms and sea level rise, and inland flooding due to heavy rain events. Other issues include legal questions, impacts on agriculture, water supplies, natural habitats like salt marshes, and what to do with all that debris after a major storm event. Through a program called Adaptation, we have held workshops, meetings, and design charrettes to address these issues. Attendees come from federal, state, and local levels, as well as interested citizens. Over 1,000 people have attended these workshops from almost 100 towns in 5 states. We have done traditional extension work with municipal officials and other stakeholders, including outreach, education, and tool development related to climate adaptation for many years now. But there is still a capacity gap between what towns need and want to do and what they have the resources to accomplish. Workshops do well, but people max out and get tired of them, and they cannot always attend due to workloads. What is really needed by municipal officials and resource managers is local information. That is, what are the climate change impacts in my community and what can I do about them? In order to address this gap, faculty from environmental studies, environmental sciences, environmental engineering, CLEAR, which is the Center for Land Use Education and Research, and Connecticut Sea Grant put our heads together and came up with a proposal for the UConn Climate Corps. First funded through a UConn Provost Award, and now a larger program called the Environment Corps, which is funded through a 5-year NSF grant. Through the Climate Corps, students gain knowledge, skills, and experience in working with Connecticut communities on climate adaptation projects, from vulnerability assessments to adaptation planning and policy projects. The Climate Corps represents workforce development for students and is a benefit to towns in our state. So what is the Climate Corps? It is a traditional academic one-semester course for juniors and seniors. The class is an interdisciplinary study of climate change focusing on indicators, impacts, policy, vulnerability, and adaptation at the local municipal scale. It is easy to say what should be done, but how does local government make decisions, and what are the roadblocks to moving forward? In the second semester, students have the option to participate in an independent study in which students work singly or in teams with municipalities or NGOs, that is, non-government organizations such as land trusts, on vulnerability assessments or other adaptation priorities. Course assignments are aligned with understanding how local government works by attending a municipal meeting, a role-playing exercise in which the class deals with a sea level rise and flood scenario, presenting testimony and making a decision on whether or not to buy out frequently flooded homes, and an exercise in managed retreat. The Climate Corps is all about connecting the dots, from indicators to impacts to what this means for the vulnerabilities of communities to climate change. Finally, we talk about solutions and adaptation actions, looking at what is going on both locally, nationally, and globally. Climate equity is a major factor in our discussions. So what is it that communities need to move forward with climate adaptation? They need data, and the more local that data is, the better they can plan and prepare. They need access to that data in terms of reports and scientific studies. They need ideas on what to do. What are recommended solutions or policies? They need an understanding of the costs of these solutions and how might solutions be phased in, because everything costs money, and that can be hard to come by. The blue box highlights what students can assist with over the course of a semester. Independent study projects cover a wide range of topics and depend on students' interests. You can see from this list that students have worked on resilience plans for coastal habitats, resilience plans for businesses, impacts of sea level rise on brownfields, and development of outreach and education materials on climate change for towns. The Climate Corps has benefits for students, communities, and UConn. Students gain a better understanding of possible career and life goals. They get experience working in teams, which is not always easy. They work on a real life problem and have the opportunity to problem solve and apply what they have learned throughout their academic career. Communities are able to take a positive step toward climate adaptation at little to no cost to them, and working with students is always great PR. The university is able to strengthen ties to communities throughout Connecticut and strengthens itself as an engaged community. That is, one that is able to bring resources and expertise to bear on local issues in a productive way. Along with the Climate Corps is the Brownfield Corps, which started in 2018, and the Stormwater Corps, which began in 2020. Together, working to integrate this within the university. With each cohort of the Climate Corps, we are building a patchwork of projects that are starting to be sewn together. Some students are picking up where others left off. Some are embarking on new projects from an ongoing list that we have, and others are developing their own projects. If we add the actions of the Brownfield Corps and the Stormwater Corps to the Climate Corps, we are starting to produce an extensive network of projects that benefit both students and our communities, as well as a network of connections between students across our campus and throughout the state. Students from the Climate Corps have gone on to graduate studies in sustainability and resilience programs around the country, as well as beginning careers in fields related to climate adaptation and resilience. Thank you.